So today I am going to discuss about the generic versus bespoke systems. In the previous class, I discussed about the software and different types of software. In continuation to that, there is another category of systems or software, that is generic versus bespoke. First of all, I will tell you the example of generic system. What are the generic systems? Examples of generic systems. The example of generic systems are Windows operating system, for example, Adobe, right? MS Office. These are the examples of generic software. What are the other examples of bespoke systems? The example of bespoke systems are online school management system, library management system, railway management system, right? So these are the examples of bespoke systems. So as it's evident from the example that generic softwares are Windows NT, Windows 2000, MS Office, Adobe, and bespoke systems are online school management system, uh, library management system. So what is the difference between these two examples? Generally, as I told you that whenever there is software development, तो जैसे आप लोग मान लो आपका घर बनता है ना, तो घर बनने से पहले आप क्या करते हैं? आप सबसे पहले उसका आर्किटेक्ट को बुलाते हैं। अगर आपको घर बनाना है तो उससे नक्शा बनवाते हैं आप, ठीक है। सबसे पहले आर्किटेक्ट क्या करता है? आपसे आपकी कॉस्ट पूछता है, कितने पैसे आपके पास हैं, और उसके अकॉर्डिंग जितना आपका बजट होता है, अकॉर्डिंग टू योर बजट, वो आर्किटेक्ट आपको जो है उसके हिसाब से नक्शा बना के देता है। फिर नक्शा बनाने के बाद आप क्या करते हैं भाई? उसके बाद आप कॉन्ट्रैक्टर से कांटेक्ट करते हैं और उससे आप जो भी बिल्डिंग मटेरियल्स हैं वो क्या क्या लगेगा वो आप मंगाते हैं, एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्टर उस पर काम शुरू करता है। तो बेसिकली ये चीज क्या है? जो नक्शा बनाएगा, नक्शा बनाने वाला आर्किटेक्ट मकान का, वो क्या करता है? वो आपसे रिक्वायरमेंट लेता है कि आपकी क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है, कितने बाथरूम चाहिए, कितने ड्राइंग रूम चाहिए, स्टेयर्स कहाँ से जानी चाहिए, छत पे आपने गमले रखने हैं नहीं रखने हैं, तो उसी हिसाब से वो साइड में गमले रखेगा। पानी की टंकी कहाँ होनी चाहिए, ठीक है, आपके टॉयलेट्स किधर होने चाहिए, तो ये सारी चीजें कौन डिस्कस करता है? ड्राइंग रूम किधर होना चाहिए, उसका फेसिंग किधर होना चाहिए, गेट का फेसिंग किधर होना चाहिए, तो ये दीज आर रिक्वायरमेंट्स। तो ये सारी रिक्वायरमेंट वो किससे लेता है? वो रिक्वायरमेंट कस्टमर से लेता है जिसको मकान बनाना है, ठीक है। उसके अकॉर्डिंग वो मैप बनाता है, और मैप बनाने के बाद वो जो है फिर आप कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को एस्टिमेट कॉस्ट एस्टिमेट वगैरह हो जाती है वहां पर, उसके बाद आप कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को देते हैं, ठीक है। तो इसी तरीके से सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट होता है। जब भी कोई एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होगी जो कि सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करेगी, और उस सॉफ्टवेयर को डेवलप कराने के लिए वो किसी और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को हायर करेगी। तो एक बार जब वो हायर करती है तो उसके बाद क्या होता है? जो डेवलपमेंट जो करता है वो क्या करेगा कि जिसको डेवलपमेंट करवाना है, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करवाना है, उससे सारी की सारी रिक्वायरमेंट वो लेगा कि किस तरीके का सॉफ्टवेयर आपको बनाना है, किस तरीके का आपको जो है ग्राफिकल यूजर इंटरफेस चाहिए, कितने लोग यूजर्स जो है उस सॉफ्टवेयर को यूज करेंगे, उसकी टेक्निकल फिजिबिलिटी क्या है, किस तरीके के सॉफ्टवेयर लगेंगे, क्या वो सॉफ्टवेयर बहुत महंगे तो नहीं है जो कंपनी जो है अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकती, राइट। तो दीज आर द वेरियस रिक्वायरमेंट्स जो कि डेवलपमेंट टीम जो है वो उनसे जो है लेगी, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से जिसका सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप हो रहा है। तो जेनरिक सॉफ्टवेयर की जो मैंने बात की, तो जैसे विंडोज एनटी, विंडोज 2000, ये क्या है, ये सारे माइक्रोसॉफ्ट प्रोडक्ट्स हैं। तो जेनरिक सॉफ्टवेयर जब डेवलप होता है तो जेनरिक सॉफ्टवेयर जो है वो एक जनरल पर्पज के लिए डेवलप होता है। तो उसके लिए रिक्वायरमेंट्स ली जाती हैं, विद इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ही उस रिक्वायरमेंट को जो है डेवलप किया जाता है खुद ही, राइट। वो किसी डेवलपमेंट जो टीम है वो किसी कस्टमर के लिए जो है रिक्वायरमेंट, पर्टिकुलर कस्टमर के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं लेती है। वो जो है विद इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है वो एक जनरल जो है लोगों की, उनको ऐसा लगता है, आइडिया है कि इस तरीके की रिक्वायरमेंट अगर हम देंगे तो लोगों को पसंद आएगा एंड लोगों के लिए यूजेबल होगा। तो जैसे ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, तो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम जब बना तो सबसे पहले जो है विंडोज 3.1, विंडोज 3.1 के बाद विंडोज 95, फिर 98 आया, फिर 2000 विंडोज 2000 आज की डेट में 10 है। तो इस तरीके से डिफरेंट डिफरेंट वर्जन्स आए। सबसे पहले आपने क्या किया, कोई एक सॉफ्टवेयर बनाया, किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने बना के मार्केट में लॉन्च कर दिया, राइट। उसको हमने कहा कि अल्फा वर्जन, उसको फिर डिफरेंट यूजर्स, कंपनी विल डिक्लेयर कि वी हैव डेवलप्ड सो एंड सो सॉफ्टवेयर, आपके इस रिक्वायरमेंट को ये फुलफिल करेगा। तो लोग उसको यूज करेंगे, अगर उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम है तो वो फीडबैक देंगे। जैसे विंडोज विस्टा आया था, विंडोज विस्टा में जब प्रॉब्लम थी, लॉन्च किया माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने, तो उसको लोगों ने यूज किया और यूज करने के बाद लोगों ने फीडबैक दिया, अकॉर्डिंगली उन्होंने फिर उसको चेंज किया और अपना नेक्स्ट वर्जन उसको लॉन्च किया। तो इस तरीके के जो सॉफ्टवेयर होते हैं उसको जेनरिक सॉफ्टवेयर कहते हैं। और जेनरिक सॉफ्टवेयर को आप, कोई यूजर जो है यूज उसको चेंज नहीं कर सकता, ठीक है। कोई एक पर्टिकुलर बंदे की रिक्वायरमेंट अगर वो चाहेगा कि वो चेंज करवा दे जेनरिक सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर, तो सच टाइप ऑफ चेंजेस आर नॉट पॉसिबल इन जेनरिक सॉफ्टवेयर। तो जेनरिक सॉफ्टवेयर जो है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन क्या करती हैं, वो लॉन्च करती हैं मार्केट में एज पर देयर रिक्वायरमेंट्स, सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करके, एंड वो फिर पीपल विल यूज दो सॉफ्टवेयर एंड दे विल गिव फीडबैक, एंड इन दिस वे दिस प्रोसेस is going on. Bespoke systems में there will be a customer and there will be a developer organization. Two organizations will be there, customer organization and developer organizations. Always the software will cater the requirement of a particular organization, not general, right? Not of the general user. एक पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट को वो फुलफिल करेगा। तो जो भी डेवलपमेंट टीम होगी, वो डेवलपमेंट टीम एक पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जिसके लिए आप सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करने जा रहे हैं उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट को लेकर उस पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए जो है वो सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट करेगी। और सच टाइप ऑफ systems are known as bespoke systems. So for any individual, it's not possible to make changes in generic software, right? In the same manner, in the bespoke systems, as per the requirement of a particular organization, development team can make the changes. So this is the difference between the generic and bespoke systems. It's clear to everybody? First of all, I have taken the example and then I explain you, right? So it's clear to everybody? Please respond, give response. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
In the
sir.
last class, I was discussing about the translator in the very first class. And what I told you that translators क्या है? Translators are system softwares. Translators are system softwares. Basically, system softwares are interface between the user application program and computer hardware. So as you know that every computer understands in terms of 0 or 1. Computer understands the language of machine. 0 or 1, digital. So if every computer understands in terms of 0 or 1, and what is the use of language? Language is used to communicate, and two types of languages are there. One is natural language, another one is formal language. In the natural languages, human beings communicate with each other using some speaking language, right? Whether that is English or Hindi or any language. And you know that every language is having their own grammar and syntaxes. If you want to speak, communicate with another person in Hindi, then you must know the grammar and syntaxes of Hindi. Then only you can speak. So all the natural languages comes into the category. All the spoken languages comes into the category of natural language. In the same manner, if any person wants to communicate with the computer, so programming language is required. Through programming language, a human being can communicate with the computer. All the programming languages comes into the category of formal languages, whether that is C, C++, Fortran, Pascal, COBOL, right, Java, C Sharp. These are the names of programming languages, and all these programming languages comes into the category of formal languages, right? But as I told you that every computer understands in terms of 0 or 1, digital, in terms of digital, right? So if you are writing your program using C, C++, Fortran, COBOL, any programming language, then when you will execute it, internally the computer will convert that into machine language. These programming languages, C, C++, Fortran, COBOL, Pascal, Java, they are English-like languages, right? And they have their own grammar and syntaxes. When a user will use which programming language, so every programming languages are having their own advantages and disadvantages. You will choose that programming language which will cater your requirement. जो आपकी requirement के हिसाब से उस programming language को आप choose करें, right? तो translators क्या हैं? Basically, translators are system programs which convert one programming language into another programming language. That is the system software, and that converts one programming language into another programming language. So if you have to define the translator, you will define in this way. The translator is a system program which converts one programming language into another programming language. Now, translators are of two types. One is assembler and another one is compiler and interpreter, right? In the second generation of computers, I told you different. I compare the generation of computers on the basis of different parameters. याद है आपको? मैंने बताया था कि कंप्यूटर के डिफरेंट जनरेशन होते हैं, फर्स्ट जनरेशन, सेकंड जनरेशन, थर्ड जनरेशन, फोर्थ जनरेशन, और उसमें मैंने डिफरेंट पैरामीटर्स बताए थे, पीरियड बताया था किस किस पीरियड में कौन कौन सा जनरेशन था. उसके बाद मैंने आपको बताया था कि क्या हार्डवेयर टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करते हैं, ठीक है. फिर मैंने आपको बताया था कि प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज कौन कौन सी यूज करते हैं. तो सेकेंड जनरेशन में मैंने आपको बताया था कि वी यूज असेंबली लैंग्वेज, बताया था ना. तो जब हम इफ वी राइट अवर प्रोग्राम यूजिंग द असेंबली लैंग्वेज, राइट, तो कंप्यूटर इंटरनली कन्वर्ट द असेंबली लैंग्वेज इनटू मशीन लैंग्वेज, राइट. तो व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ असेंबलर? Assembler is a system program which converts assembly language into machine language, right? And we write the assembly program using the mnemonic codes. Another type of translator is compiler and interpreter. If we write our program using the high level language, English like language, okay? For example, C, C++, Fortran, COBOL, Java, Haskell, Visual Basic. So in that case, either we use the compiler or interpreter. So if there is a need to define the compiler and interpreter, so how will you define? The compiler and interpreter both are system programs which convert high level language into machine level language, right? So what is the definition of translator? Translator is a system software which convert one programming language into another programming language. What is the assembler? Assembler is a system software which convert one program assembly programming language into machine level. Then what is the compiler and interpreter? They convert high level language into the machine level. So among the compiler and interpreter, both are same. Definition is same. Both are translators. But what is the difference between the compiler and interpreter? The difference is, since both converts high level language into machine level, but there is a difference in the way of execution, right? So as I told you that whenever, suppose you are writing your program in C language, right? So whenever you will write your program in C language, okay, then C language will have the grammar and syntaxes. So if you will not follow the grammar and syntax, then there will be an error. There will be an error. So whenever you write program in C language, so you will write first statement, suppose 20 lines, that program is of 20 lines. And if you will compile, so if there is no syntactic or grammar error, then your program will be executed. If there is an error, then all the errors will come at once. Whenever you will compile your C program, you will get if there is any error, you will get a list of error. You will remove all the errors one by one. What will happen in interpreter? In interpreter, always the execution is line by line. Suppose 10 line programs है, ओके, तो पहली लाइन एग्जीक्यूट होगी, उसके बाद अगर उसमें कुछ एरर है तो वो आपको एरर मैसेज देगा, आप उसको करेक्ट करेंगे. देन यू विल प्रोसीड टू द नेक्स्ट लाइन. If there is any error, then again you will correct it. Then third line, no error, you will go to the fourth line. If there is any error, you will correct it. Then you will proceed to the fifth line. So execution is line by line. So in this case, which one is faster? Anyone? Always compiler will be faster because the entire code will be compiled at once, and you, if there is any error, you will get the list of error. While in the case of interpreter is slower. Why this is slower? Interpreter is slower because always the execution is line by line. राइट, तो हर लाइन पे जाओगे, उसकी एरर को दूर करोगे अगर एरर है, उसके बाद आप दूसरी लाइन पे जाओगे, राइट. सो this is the difference between the compiler and interpreter. Similarity is that if both are translators, both are system software, they convert high level language into the machine language. What is the difference? Always the compiler compiles the entire code at once, right? While the interpreter executes the code line by line. So compiler is faster in compared to interpreter. Right. So what are the programming languages which are compiled? C, Pascal, C++, right? These are the programming languages which are compiled. What are the interpreted programming languages? Python, COBOL, Python, after that Visual Basic. ठीक है. So these are the various interpreted programming language, compiler and interpreter. Some programming languages are there which are compiled as well as interpreted. So they may ask, name the programming language which is compiled as well as interpreted. So Java and C Sharp, both are compiled as well as interpreted programming language. Right? Java is a programming language, and that is the product of Sun Microsystem, where C Sharp is the product of Microsoft. That is the product of Microsoft. So this is the translator. Then what are the two types of translators? Assembler, compiler, and interpreter. Now, another topic is data, information, and knowledge. Data, information, and knowledge. So what is the data? The data is a raw fact. Data is a raw fact, while information is the processed data. Information is the processed data. Data is always having the implicit meaning, right? And information is always having the explicit meaning. Information is always having the implicit meaning. Okay. So what is the knowledge? Whatever the information you get, on the basis of that, you find some pattern, right? And out of that pattern, you deduce some knowledge. Deduce some knowledge. Okay. So that is the knowledge. So this is the difference between the data, information, and knowledge. Right? So I can explain that thing with the help of an example. With the help of an example. What is that example? Suppose your class is BA program first year, right? In the class, there are some students who have come from the outside and they are living in hostel. They are living in hostel, right? So to live in the hostel, money will be required. Okay. So they ask for money from their parents. Their parents send the money to the students, right? So how you manage your monthly expenditure? For that, you maintain a diary, and on the diary you note down all your expenditure, daily expenditure, right? Suppose your father, your parent is sending you 6,000 rupees or 7,000 rupees, okay, per month. And if your expenditure at the last of the month, you note down on the notebook your entire daily expenditure, and at last of the month, if your expenditure is 8,000 and you are getting only 7,000, in that case you are under budget. Then you will ask your father to send you, please, you will tell your father, please send me 1,000 more, right? So accordingly, when you are noting down your expenditure on notebook, that is data basically. Then at the last of the month, when you are summing entire expenditure, total monthly expenditure, if you are deducing, so that is information that has been processed now. Now you have processed that data. Okay. Then from getting sum of the monthly expenditure. Now you are extracting the knowledge, okay, that whether you are under budget or over budget, okay. So accordingly, on the basis of that knowledge, accordingly you will adjust your expenditure. You will adjust your expenditure, right? So this is the difference between the data and information and knowledge. I am repeating again, data is a raw fact, okay, that is always having implicit meaning. Another definition of data is that is the basically recording of fact. That is basically the recording of fact. Okay. While information is processed data, right? When you process that, that is will become the information. And whatever the information you are getting, out of that, you will extract some pattern. You will extract some pattern. And out of that pattern, you will take the decision. So basically knowledge is used in taking the decisions, so it's clear to everybody what is the difference between data, information and knowledge. It's clear to everybody? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, what the example I gave you about the data, information and knowledge, if that example you will remember in your memory, then there will not be any problem. Then you can explain. In the same manner, if generic and bespoke softwares, if examples you have remembered, then there will not be any problem. Now another topic is input and output devices. Okay. So in the block diagram of computer systems, when I was discussing the block diagram, and there I told you that CPU is just like your brain. And I told you that brain is an example of non-deterministic computer which executes every instruction in milliseconds. Okay. Or in polynomial time. What is that polynomial time? I told you that polynomial time is n log n. Okay. So different inputs are there to the brain. What are the inputs? Your finger, your ear, your nose, your eyes. These are the senses, and these senses work as input device for your brain. In the same manner, in a computer system, CPU is like a brain, okay, and keyboard is mouse. Both are as an input. You give some inputs from the keyboard, and that will be processed within the CPU, and you will get the output. Output may be display either on monitor, or that may be projected on projector, or that may be projected on printer. So these are the various plotter that may be projected on plotter. So these are the different output devices. Input devices are your keyboard, mouse, then you can say speaker, then you can say microphone, okay, and output devices you can say printer, you can say along with the plotter. Input devices
Excuse me, sir. So
yeah.
sorry to disturb you, sir. आपकी आवाज बिल्कुल नहीं आ रही सर आपकी.
आवाज नहीं आ रही? मैं तो बहुत तेज बोल रहा हूँ. हेलो. हेलो, तुम्हारे फोन में प्रॉब्लम होगी बेटा।
नहीं सर, कभी कभार सर आपकी आवाज तेज जाती है सर, कभी कभार आपकी कम आती है सर आपकी आवाज कभी।
बेटा मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, मैं तो बहुत तेज बोल रहा हूँ और बिल्कुल फुल पे वॉल्यूम किया हुआ हूँ बच्चे। हेलो, अभी नहीं आ रही है आपको आवाज? मैं तो बहुत तेज बोल रहा हूँ।
जी सर, अब आ रही है सर।
बीच में ऐसे बोलोगे तो रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है, फिर डिस्टरबेंस होता है। हाँ, आवाज तो मैं बहुत तेज बोल रहा हूँ, नेटवर्क की भी तो प्रॉब्लम है, समझा करो। ठीक है, हाँ। So different input devices are there, different output devices are there, right? So I will show you two videos through which you can understand uh, about the input devices and output devices more. You will get some basic. These are the video. Let's see.
Tyler, with Remington's help, is writing an email to his boss, Anita. Tyler says, "Welcome to Make It Easy Education. Input and output devices. Input devices. In human being, input is given to the brain through the 5 sense organs: eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and skin. Similar to this, in a computer, input is given to the brain of the computer, CPU, through the input devices. To interact with the computer, we need input devices. An input device allows us to enter information to the computer. Keyboard is one of the most essential input device used to interact with the computer. Keystrokes on the keyboard is the most fundamental pieces of information sent to the CPU. Mouse is another essential input device used to interact with the computer. Mouse has 2 buttons, left and right, and a scroll wheel. Clicks with the mouse is the most fundamental
3 buttons,
piece of
left, right, and
information
scroll.
sent to the CPU. A light pen is a light-sensitive computer
Light
input
pen.
device. It is used to select text, draw pictures, and interact with the computer screen or monitor. A joystick is an input
This
device
is used for
that
gaming
is
purposes,
used for
joystick.
controlling the movement of the cursor in a computer. The cursor movement is controlled by maneuvering a lever on the joystick. Joystick is mostly used for gaming applications. A barcode reader, also called a price scanner, is an input device used to capture and read information contained in a barcode. A barcode reader works by directing a beam of light
All these
across
are
the
input
barcode
devices.
and measuring the amount of light that is reflected back. A microphone is an input device used by computer users to input any sound into their computers. Optical mark reader reads pencil or pen marks made in predefined positions on paper form.
When you give entrance exam and through pencil you mark, okay, the options, objective questions. So that is read by the optical mark reader.
Reader is an input device that reads and converts typed, printed, or handwritten characters into computer understandable form so that the computer can manipulate it. Output devices. An output device is any device that receives data from a computer, usually for display to the user. Plotter is an output device used for printing vector graphics.
It's a plotter.
Plotters use a pen, pencil, or marker to draw multiple continuous lines onto paper. A projector is an output device that projects an image or moving images onto a surface, such as walls or a projection screen.
It's a projector screen.
Headphone is an output device
It's a headphone.
consisting of a pair of earphones joined by a band placed over the head for listening to music or speech.
Question time. Match the following.
Now after this, there is another one. Let's see.
An input device is any piece of hardware that allows us to send data to a computer. So if you type a message on a keyboard or touch a screen to make something happen, you are using an input device. An output device, on the other hand, is any piece of hardware that allows a computer to communicate information to us. For example, displaying a message on a screen, playing sound via a speaker or headphones, or printing a document. So if you want to play music on your phone and press play on the touchscreen, you are using an input device to tell your phone to play the music. The phone will then play the music and the sound will come through an output device, your headphones. The BBC Microbit has several built-in input and output devices. The input devices are the buttons and the sensors for light, temperature, acceleration, and magnetism. The main output device is the LED display. Your microbit can also send and receive information by radio, so it's both an input and an output device. You can also add input and output devices using the pins of the microbit. For example, you can attach headphones or a speaker as an output device.
Your speaker is an output device. Let's see another video.
Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Tech. Please click on the like, share and subscribe. Students, today we will learn about input and output devices. First of
Is it audible? Thoda audio is little bit slower. Please listen carefully.
Sir, it is not visible, not audible.
I will send you the link. Visible or audible?
Audible, not audible.
Okay, whatever I told you about the data information and knowledge, it's depicting about that. I will send you the link and through headphone you can listen. Huh?
Okay, sir.
So, now this was the demo of input and output device. Now, how the input and output devices are connected to your CPU, your cabinet. So this is the computer cabinet. Okay. In the last class, I told you that within the cabinet, there is a motherboard, cooling fan. Okay. And on the motherboard, various USB, PS2 sockets are there. Right. All these are connected with the motherboard, and that is inside this cabinet. Your CPU is also on the motherboard. So what are the different connections are there? The back side of your computer cabinet, if you will see, these are the two connectors. These are known as PS2 connector. PS2. So first one is used to connect the mouse. Okay, the first one is used to connect the mouse. So this is the PS2 and this is used to connect your keyboard. Okay, keyboard, I told you that keyboard and mouse both are input devices, right? And they can be wireless also. Keyboard को हम क्या कहते हैं? Sometimes we say the QWERTY, QUERTY, QWERTY keyboards. They are also known as QWERTY keyboards. So this is the PS2 connector which is connected to your motherboard, and through this switch you can plug in your keyboard into this PS2 connector and your mouse to left hand side connector, right? So these are the PS2. Modern keyboards and monitors are USB also. If Universal Serial Bus, USB full form is acronym for Universal Serial Bus. So these days modern keyboards and mouse are getting connected through USB port also, right? This is the PS2 port, but USB ports are below here, so they can be connected through USB port also. This is the serial bus, serial port. Okay, this is the switch. Here you can plug in the networking devices. Okay, you can connect to the networking devices. This serial port. Okay, there may be question may be asked in the examination to connect the networking devices. Okay, which port is used? So this is the serial port, and if you want to connect any computer to this computer, so you will plug in the that particular wire into this socket, right? Now this is the printer, this is the parallel port. So in the examination they may ask that if you are connecting any printer to, so which port will you use, whether serial or parallel? The printer is always connected to the parallel port, and this is the parallel port, and there are 25 pins are there within this port, right? And below to this serial port is used to connect the networking devices, while parallel port is used to connect the printer. And below this there is another like this, another connector that is known as VDU, visual display unit, right? To connect the monitor to your motherboard, there is a VDU socket here, and you can connect your monitor to this socket. And just below this there are various USB sockets. These are the Universal Serial Bus. There are various USB ports, and in these USB ports you can connect printer, you can connect Ethernet card. Okay, different devices you can connect to this USB port. You can connect to the pen drive, right? So these are the various USB ports, and in these USB ports you can connect. This is what? This is the power connector. This is the power connector, and 230 volt is needed. Okay, for this. So there is a connector. Whenever you will connect your monitor to your this cabinet, so there is a power connector. You will plug in that over here. Okay, and this is the fan. Why this fan is used? This fan is used to cool your processor, to keep your processor cool, right? So these are the various connectors. Like again, I am repeating that these are the PS2 connector. One is used to connect the mouse, and the one is used to connect the keyboards, right? Then 25 pins connector is there, that is used to connect your printer, right? This is the used to connect the network, right? So through UTP cable or through RZ connector, okay, you can connect the networking devices to this serial, and this is serial. Printer is the parallel port. Networking devices is connected to the serial port. Okay. Then visual display unit, there is a to connect the monitor. There is a VDU. Actually, monitor is the visual display unit, and here VDU connector through which you can connect your monitor to your motherboard and CPU. right? Below this, there are various USB ports, and those USB ports can be used to connect various things like pen drive. You can connect your Ethernet card. There are so many things you can connect to this USB. And I told you that USB is used to connect the mouse and keyboards also. All the modern mouse and keyboards are getting connected through, not through PS2 port. They are getting connected through the USB boards. So it's clear to everybody? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is input and output both. What are the devices which are input and output devices both? So modem, modulator. मतलब I have taken your speaker is also input and output device both. For example, if you want to measure your blood pressure, your blood pressure machine is an input and output device both, right? But I'm taking this example of modulator, demodulator, modem. So this is the modem, right? The name of this modem is modulator and demodulator. Okay. This is a digital computer. And this is the power socket. This power socket, through this power socket, this wire is connected. And this wire is coming out of this modem, right? And this is the monitor, and this monitor is also connected to this modem. As I told you that computer always understands in terms of 0 or 1. Computer always understands in terms of 0 or 1, means digital. So here, from the socket, whatever the signal is coming through this wire, that is analog. That is analog. Okay, and whatever the data is coming from this wire in analog, that has to go to this computer, right? So this modem is an interface between this socket and this monitor. So whatever the signal is coming from this socket, that is going to this modem. This signal passing through this wire is analog signal. This modem is converting this analog signal to digital, and that digital information is transferred to this monitor. Because your computer understands in terms of 0 or 1, and machine language is the language of the computer. That's why this modem will convert this analog information which is coming, electrical signal which is coming from this wire, into digital signal. So always the use of this model, that's why this is known as modulator, demodulator. Okay, it converts analog to digital, and whatever the computer, whatever the signal, digital signal coming from this monitor, this modem is converting that digital signal into analog signal. So this from monitor, computer monitor, this signal is getting transferred to the socket, right? Okay, so here digital signal that is converted into the analog signal, right? So this modem is input as well as output both. If the signal is coming from this computer, it's an input to this modem, and it's after converting it into analog, this is the output to this socket. Okay, if input is coming from this socket, this modem will receive the analog signal, process it, convert it into the digital. So this digital information transferred to the monitor is what? That is the output, and this is analog is the input. So it's convert input to output both ways. That's why it's called the modulator, demodulator, and it's a very good example of input and output. As I told you that there are other devices which are input and output both. For example, blood pressure, to count the blood pressure, the machine you use, that is input and output both, right? So there are various examples of input and output devices. Now, there is one output device, printer. Okay. So, printer is an output device. There are different types of printers. Page printer, character printer, line printer. You can categorize the printer into three categories. Okay. Page printer is what printer? That is also known as impact printer, a non-impact printer. Okay. And there is a character printer, that is a impact printer. Non-impact printer is ledger printer. That is the ledger printer. While non-impact printer is, impact printer is dot matrix. So what is the impact and non-impact printer? Impact printer में क्या होगा? There will be a head. Okay. And on the head, there will be some ink and there will be a header. And whenever paper is there, that head will touch the paper and whatever the character that will be printed. Okay. That's why we call that the impact printer. Right. So ledger is the example of non-impact printer where the dot matrix printers are known as impact printers. So non-impact printers are the page printers also. They come into the category of page printer. Character printers are all the dot matrix printers are character printers. Okay. There are various further category of dot matrix printer. 24 pin dot matrix printer, 12 pins dot matrix printer, 32 pins dot matrix printer. The printing speed will be faster जितने pins ज़्यादा होंगे उतना ही अच्छा dot matrix printer होगा. तो printing जो capacity है that will be better if the number of pins are more in dot matrix printer. Okay, and that is basically the example of impact printer. Okay, then there is another category of printer, that is line printer. So the size of line printer is very big, and these printers, line printers, are used in organizations, basically big organizations, because it can print 200 to 2000 pages per minute. 200 to, and the printing speed of the line printer is very fast. So basically in all the big organizations, in place of dot matrix printer, yeah, impact printers and or ledger jet printers, always line printers are used because there always the printing is in bulk form. That's why line printers are used. So if you want to categorize the printer, you can categorize the printer into three categories. One is page printer, which is also known as non-impact printer. For example, LaserJet, DeskJet, all these are what? These are the non-impact printers or page printers. Then if you talk about the character printers are impact printers. Dot matrix printer is an example of good example of non-impact printers. Then there is another category of printer, that is the line printer, and line printer is always used in the big organizations. Whenever you want to print the pages in a bulk, then you can use the line printer. The main thing is if you want 200 to 2000 pages per minute, then only line printer is the substitute. Okay. Then another thing is DVD writer and CD writer. DVD writer and what is the DVD writer and CD writer are input and output both. Okay. The question in the examination, they ask what is the difference between CD and DVD. So the full form of CD is compact disc. The full form of CD is compact disc, while the full form of DVD is digital video disc. Digital video disc. Okay. The data capacity of DVD is 7 times more than CD. So data storage capacity is high, then data execution is faster in DVD than compact disc. So DVD and CD writer both are input and output devices, both input and output, both CD also and DVD, and this is the difference between the CD and DVD. So in the examination, if they ask name the devices which are input and output both, तो आप क्या बताएंगे? आप बताएंगे CD writer, DVD writer, blood pressure counter. Then after that you can name speaker. Okay, so there are different input and output devices. So in the examination, basically they ask name any 2 input devices, any 2 output devices. Okay, printer, what is the categorization of printer, what is the difference between impact and non-impact printer, give the example of impact printer, give the example of non-impact printer. Various questions may be raised. Okay, another question they ask, what is the difference between the magnetic disc and magnetic tape? So basically magnetic disc and magnetic tape both are the input devices. Okay, and on the magnetic tape and magnetic disc, data is stored. Data is stored. Magnetic tape, in earlier days, you always used to hear the music through cassettes. Okay, so on the cassette, songs are stored on the magnetic tape. On the magnetic tape, and in the magnetic tape, always the data is stored sequentially. Data is stored sequentially. One record, after that second record, third record, fourth record, fifth record, in a sequence. Okay. If you want to access the fourth record, then your head, there will be a head on the tape. So it will go first to the first record, then second, then third, then fourth. Okay. तो कैसेट में क्या होता था, आपने स्विच दबाया, आपने क्या किया, अगर चौथा गाना सुनना है तो फोर्थ पे आप जाकर तो दबा के रखते थे स्विच को जब तक फोर्थ पे पहुंच ना जाए. ठीक है. तो इसका मतलब क्या है कि अगर मैग्नेटिक टेप पे बहुत ज्यादा डेटा है, सपोज 1000 रिकॉर्ड्स है, तो अगर आप 999 वाला रिकॉर्ड आप एक्सेस करना चाहते हैं तो आपको फर्स्ट से जाना पड़ेगा. इसका मतलब क्या है कि डेटा एक्सेसिंग स्लो है मैग्नेटिक टेप पे. बट मैग्नेटिक डिस्क में क्या है, रैंडम है. अगर आपको 1000 रिकॉर्ड स्टोर है मैग्नेटिक डिस्क पे, तो आपको हर बार 500वां रिकॉर्ड एक्सेस करने के लिए पहले पे नहीं जाना है. राइट, आप डायरेक्टली क्या करेंगे, यू विल रीच टू योर 500 records. Right, so always the accessing speed on the hard disk is faster than magnetic tape. So in the examinations, they may ask write short notes on the magnetic tape and magnetic disk. Okay, now time is over. Okay, so I think this is sufficient for today, my dear students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So are you